Howdy folks, welcome to something new here on Super Hamster Plays. The start of something pretty special. This is Kingdom Death Monster, believe it or not. And yes, this is a huge box with handprints on. Let's have a look at the back. So bear in mind, this is the back. There is nothing on this box to tell you what it is, so if you don't already know, you're out of luck. Except for this bit down here. Kingdom Death Monster, version 1.5. Yeah, and this arrived in the post yesterday, and I have been waiting to set this up before we do an unboxing. As you can see, it's still shrink wrapped. So let's get stuck in and see what we've got. Now the plan for this on the channel is I will be doing unboxing videos, which is this. I will be doing assembly videos, I'll be doing painting videos, and I will be doing a full playthrough of the campaign. And if we can just open this box. As I said, big box, which you can see on the side says Monster, and the same on that side. 1.5 on either end. That's a huge box, and it's very well built. I'd say that's about 3 or 4 mil thick. I'm guessing, yeah, that's all going to lift out. So that'll be the miniatures. We'll look at those in a little while. If you're interested, on the box it just says death, 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 death. And that looks like that carries on, yeah, all the way around. So, although you might not know what the game's called from looking at the box, you're certainly going to know what the idea is. So we have the updated, what is that? Innovation, settlements. Oh, this will be the settlement track. I think this is the hunt track. And I believe in the original version that was just made of cardstock, whereas now it's an actual mounted board to make it a lot more durable. So we'll see what that's for a bit later. Counters, lots of counters, damage counters, lantern counters. Insanity counters. That looks like the help sheet. Target tokens. I don't know what half of this stuff does, but there's that. And there might be a second, yeah, there's a second board in there. So I'll have a look at that at some point. As we continue, this will be the board itself. Which is 3 layers, so it's going to be that, and then that. So it's a decent sized board. Nice big squares, I'd say they're 30-35 mil across. So you shouldn't have any issues with miniatures clashing. The much sturdier vacuum tray. Character sheets. Nice big pad of character sheets there. You can name your character, mark with a male and female. They'll gain skills. You've got armor ratings, damage ratings, fighting arts disorders, all their abilities, weapon proficiencies, XP track, and the important one. Focus. Well, that's your brain marker, and that's your insanity track. I don't know if that's coming through clear. I'll take some photos of these after I finish shooting and paste them in at the appropriate minute. But there we go. So that's that. Survivor Arts. I think these are the character sheets with your equipment. So they're your character trackers. So that's your that's your specifics with all your stats and things, and this is where all your equipment goes. I've seen a couple of playthrough videos, so that's what that is. A pad of settlement sheets, which are similar sort of thing to the character sheets, but these track your settlements and milestones and different things you've built in your settlements. So you've got bonesmiths, skinneries, weapon crafters, leather workers. This would be tracking the days. It looks like there's 36 turns. Although I'm guessing some of those will just be dice dice rolls or card flips or something. But yeah, there's 36 significant events and a nice tally for the number of people that have died. Nice gruesome death. Dice, lots of dice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so there's 5 of these black and white dice that have got a lantern for the 10. There's a white one, so it's a reverse of that one. There's a red D10, no idea what that is, and these are all engraved, and these I think are hit location dice. So you've got chest, head, hands, belt, feet. Yeah, so that's for working out your hit locations. So there's those. Hopefully that's enough. What do we got here? The Watcher. Small deck of cards. Maybe 15 cards. Top one just says Watcher. I have no idea what that's for. Settlement events. Nice big deck. Again, 15, 20 cards. First day, so this will tell you how you set things up, how things go, and I'm guessing these are just going to be events that kick off at points in the year or when you trigger certain things. These would be the locations at your settlement. Dozen, maybe 15 there. So this one's the barber surgeon. You can make bombs, scavengers, traps, first aid kits, brain mint. What's brain mint? I don't know, but I'm intrigued. I want brain mint. Make your head minty fresh. Silica packet. Don't need that. What else we got? As you can see, there's a lot of cards, and these are going to be all sorts. So that's the AI decks by the looks of it. That's the Watcher, and on the back it's talking about the Butcher, who's one of the monsters. What do we got here? Survivor status, hunt events. So I'm going to have to sort all of these. I have no idea what these could be. Stat cards. That's got the Butcher and his stats at level 1, level 2 and level 3. And I've just noticed that's not showing up terribly clearly. But yeah, so you've got stats on there. And this looks like equipment or critical hits maybe. But yeah, so that's that. And is that the final block, or is there another one in there? No, final block. Secret fighting art. The King's Step. And disorders. These look like dividers. They're a lot smaller, but they're taller than these cards. And these look like equipment and items. As you can see, they're in the smaller cards. And they fit, as I understand it, on these things. So you put your equipment out, and these coloured things are something to do with linking. I'm not entirely sure yet. We'll find out together. Another silicon packet. And more equipment. And that's that. And then we have this mysterious black box in the middle, which would be the new hard copy or hardback rulebook. And then spaces to store all the counters and the tokens and everything. More silicon. Yeah, and that's everything. So I'm going to take some of this stuff out of the packet out of the cellophane so we can get a better look, and it's not so shiny because I can see that it is, and it's reflecting my lights and my windows, and there's a door over there somewhere, and oh, there's me briefly on camera, sort of. Yeah, so I'm going to take these things out of the packets and we'll take a look. Okay, welcome back. Got all the cellophane off. Everything's not so shiny now, which is good. And we'll start off looking at these tokens that we were looking at before. Reroll tokens, endeavour tokens. I'm looking at this. This is a summary of the settlement phase in between the actual sort of board game part, and a priority target survivor status, which I'm going to read out just because I think it sets a tone. When a monster performs a pick target action, it picks you. When you are picked as a target, discard this token, unless something specifies otherwise, e.g. fuzzy groin. Okay, fuzzy groin. And here are all the status tokens. So we've got damage markers, toughness, modifiers, and they all seem to be negative. I'm not seeing any positive ones here, so I'm guessing these are blood drops, lantern tokens, presumably for the 4 different starting players. Oh, we do have pluses on the back, on the nice white side, so black is bad, white is good. And yeah, so there's a whole bunch, and these are well punched out. They're quite thick tokens, that's what, a couple of mil thick. It's a nice solid board. I'm not seeing any sort of splitting or fraying around the edges. Yeah, production quality throughout this is fantastic. Even the packaging, when the box arrived, it was completely encased in polystyrene and the thickest grey cardboard, corrugated card box I've seen for some time. And I think this is the scenery for the game, because these seem to tie up space-wise. Yeah, that one's 3 by 3. These are 1-inch squares. There's that target player, fallen columns, presumably acting like barriers or walls. And it's possible at some point I'll make little replacement 3D columns and things to go on here to cover what is a really fantastic piece of artwork that makes up the board. It's showing up a lot brighter actually on the screen here, but yeah, you've got 22 squares across and all the way down to P, so that's what, 13 down? 16. So 16 by 22, and there's a series of card spaces down this size, about the size of a playing card, standard size. So yeah, so that's that. And the back of the board, just plain black, as you'd expect, because, you know, everything in this game appears to be black. Again, setting the tone. Here is one of the survivor boards. Bring it up. So you've got a turn summary down there, and there are your equipment slots that those small cards will sit in. This is the settlement deck, settlement events. I'm not going to go through these because I think there are spoilers in there. But this is the first day one, which it says the first day settlement event will help you set up your settlement. It is the first event of any new campaign. So it's not, where are we at the bottom? The first day settlement event card will not be used during this campaign. Do not include it in your settlement event deck. So this is full of random events that will trigger off. This one is just telling you how to set up your settlement. Show you the art there. But yeah, it's a bunch of people just sort of hauling in what looks like a dead monster of some sort, and a bunch of lanterns, all armed with loincloths and pointy rocks. And that's it. So that's what you start with. These longer ones, as we suspected, are all the locations that you can build, and they tell you what they can make. So you've got barber surgeons, blacksmiths, bonesmiths, an exhausted lantern horde, no idea, an actual lantern horde, leather worker, mask makers, organ grinders, plumery. It seems all to do with the phoenix, which is the large bird that you fight. Stone circles, screaming horns, braces, codes. I think that's to do with the antelope, weapon crafters, and skinnery. And I'm sure there was a cattery or something in here. Yeah, catarium, which is all to do with making weapons out of the lion skins. Yeah, it looks like there's a few sort of wisps of cardboard, but just rubbing your hand along the edge and they're all coming off, so there's no issues on there at all. It's just part of the printing process. So that's those. And inside the folded up board was this thing. And what have we got? AI discard. So I'm guessing this looks like it's for controlling the creatures during the game, because you've got AI and a discard pile. HL could be hit location, basic actions, wound stacks, generic token slots, and trait mood and skulls. In this slot, it's just a piece of cardboard, but I'm guessing it's not going to. It's basically a mat, so it's not going to take any real wear and tear. So I have to put these aside. And the last thing we'll get to before we look at the miniatures, the book. Black bound, or black edges on the paper, red bound, just says monster on there, doesn't say anything on the back, and has got that nice slightly cryptic symbol, which is in a nice glossy finish. Ooh. It's got 2 black ribbons for page markers. I love things like that. And more of the art style of the game. Lonely looking man with his lantern, just out dusting the skulls. Contents, we've got introduction, prologue, first story, survival guide, core rules, injuries, story events, more story events. There's 78 pages of story events. So, and then the finale, and a comic at the back, some game variants, and a glossary. Introduction on how to play. No surprise to me, but maybe a surprise to you, that the first creature you'll be fighting is the White Lion. And you'll be starting with these guys, so it's just a general, this is what the game is, this is how it'll play basically. And then we get to the story, which is an introduction to the game. So you get a nice piece of art, and you get the story, which reads: once upon a time there was a place of carved stone faces. A man with a lantern lay sleeping a dreamless sleep. The man knew nothing. One day the man woke up. He rubbed the dried ink caked over his eyes and opened them. Around him he saw other people stirring, and beyond, a horizon of unbroken darkness. A woman approached the man with the lantern, her soft hand reaching out to him. They had no words. They were a mystery to each other. Suddenly a monster emerged from the darkness, its eyes wild with hunger. It attacked. So that would be the lion. The people were no match for the monster. It tore them their flesh and crushed their bones. Between its teeth, some it devoured whole. Overcome with terror and grief, the man with the lantern collapsed to the ground, cold stone noses pushing into his side. There was no escape. But the man did not want to die. Desperately grasping at the cold stone faces, he felt a crack and tore at it with all his might. A piece of stone came free. It was sharp and deadly. The man with the lantern scrambled to his feet. His weapon clenched in his fist. He took a deep breath and roared into the darkness. Somewhere in the place of stone, nameless men and women stand together. They have nothing but a need to survive and a lantern to light their struggle. put that one there because that's now getting into the rules, which, as you can see, are well illustrated with artwork and rules. So it looks like there's art on pretty much every one of these pages. So although it's a 200-page book-ish, I'd say there's only about 150 pages of actual rules, and a lot of those are going to be summaries and glossaries and so forth. So, assembling miniatures. Speaking of miniatures, let's have a look at those.